Thank you so much for joining us today. My first question for you, Boeing, you personally have had a lot of meetings over the past month with Air Force officials, the Secretary of the Air Force. I know the Undersecretary came here recently to visit. What sort of feedback were you given about this program? And, what did you do to translate that, into maybe more resources for the program, or did that change how you're doing things at all?
Well, I think the message that you all been hearing and that we have been hearing collectively is we need tankers. And the Boeing company has shared publicly, I've shared publicly, our own personal frustration that we haven't delivered them yet. And so that partnership is as strong as ever, and it's how do we get to getting these incredible aircraft fielded. I mean, you see the landscape behind us, and this is just a portion of the number we have built. In terms of, did something change following that conversation or those conversations? No, because the Boeing company has been committed. We've continued to invest and bring the best talent from across the company from day one on this program, and you're going to meet so many of those folks while you're out here today. What I think is important to note is my priority is the customer. How we resonate with their concerns and their feedback, we take it to heart. And we continue to try to look for ways to make things easier for everyone and get this capability delivered.
Boeing has been very adamant that they're going to deliver a tanker this summer and deliver all 18, the first 18 by the end of the year. And you reiterated that today. Why are you so confident? The Air Force says you're being a little bit overly optimistic.
Well, again, we've continued to say we're going to deliver tankers this year. One, I think we have the Air Force is needing us to deliver tankers this year. And you've seen the completion of several very critical milestones that were the major gates towards enabling that delivery. And with the completion of our supplemental type certificate flight testing 3 weeks ago, which is really the backbone to getting the tanker fielded. We're in the process of finishing up our military type certificate flight testing. And then we're working with the Air Force on the receiver certifications and the enhanced software testing. You see that we're just slowly checking off what's left in order to enable us to deliver.
But what do you say to those that say, you guys have been wrong before? GAO just came out with another report still saying that they expect some schedule delays. Can you talk a little bit about, are you guys doing anything differently? Like, how are you guys making sure that this actually happens?
Well, I think, again, as I just shared with you, it's getting the work accomplished, and you're seeing that through our significant progress with the flight testing. Over 2,500 contacts, over the last few years, having 4 aircraft ready to deliver that have already flown their first flight prior to delivery. Having 35 aircraft fully built sitting on a runway ready to go when the customer is ready. Those are the pivot points that give confidence that we're on the cusp of getting there.
One thing you haven't done yet is refueling a stealth aircraft like the F-22, the F-35. When is that going to happen? Are you guys waiting to resolve the issue with the boom scraping some of these receiver aircraft?
Well, I think you're referring to the undetected contact outside the receptacle and some of the information that's been in the media surrounding that. You're going to get more information on that today in terms of where we are as it compares to existing KC-135s and KC-10s, which I think is an important part of the conversation. Additionally, we are working our test program in concert with the Air Force, and so they line up the receivers that they want us to test with in the priority order, and so those two will occur per the schedule.
For the schedule, what is that, though, at this point?
I'll let the guys, you'll see folks at the detail level who can share with you some of that, but in terms of availability of receiver assets and in terms of what's the priority to get the receiver certifications on first, the U.S. Air Force has a priority listing, and so we're working in concert with them on that.
This program has, I think, 3 Category 1 deficiencies at this point. can you guys make the first delivery if those are still open? Or is that something you're negotiating with the Air Force right now?
Again, you're well aware, one you highlighted was the undetected contact outside the receptacle. There's two tied to the remote visual system. We have agreed between ourselves and the Air Force that we will deliver an enhanced software version with the first delivery. I will always defer to the customer because I think that's the right thing to do in terms of their closure plans, but I will share that we're working in partnership with them.
And this is tied to KC-46. You have talked about exports and how important exports of this capability will be in the future for this program. Just this past month, the Trump administration loosened some of the export rules. How does that affect this program or maybe the company at large?
Well, again, we are a global company, and you see our commercial business, which has a significant portion, with customer base outside the U.S. On the defense side, 37% of my business is with customers outside the U.S. But again, we will always work through the State Department, make certain from an export perspective there isn't any issues or concerns. The KC-46 is one of those capabilities that other countries are going to be able to acquire. They may tailor some of their work packages, but we'll do that on a country-by-country basis.
Do you see that there's any benefits of that new policy for Boeing, though?
I think what you see on a whole is with every policy, we assess and understand, but recognizing that we've been operating in an environment where there is global access for many years, and we're always pleased when there's an opportunity to take some of these great products and the great folks that have been building them and be able to deliver them to other countries to support our ally nations.
Boeing recently reorganized itself, its defense business, and it created a new commercial derivatives sector. Can you talk a little bit about, how this reorganization has impacted the company? Have you seen, what are the benefits of having this new structure?
Well, it's really just the completion of the structure that I rolled out last year. A couple of things, and again, it goes back to listening to the customer. Are you fast? Are you really moving with the speed? Are you affordable? Do we have the relationships with the customers that we need to have at all levels of the organizations? We did the first part of that restructure last summer. I finished it up this year. What it means from a commercial derivative perspective is when you look at programs such as Tanker that are going to have lots of aircraft going down production lines similar to P-8 or a one-time C-17, it gives us an opportunity to leverage the talents of those programs that have that leverage and also give us additional customer alignment. Again, I am driven through a customer lens. That is, that is a primary for me, and then supporting them with an amazing team of women and men.
Thank you so much for joining us, Leanne.
Well, Valerie, thanks so much for being here. I hope you enjoy your day.